24 till the hour here on the Imus Morning Program. We're going to talk with Bill O'Reilly tomorrow. One of the things I'm going to have a discussion with O'Reilly about is he has this big party. In fact, I guess he has these parties. Does he have have you ever been invited to one of his parties, Connell?
Me, no.
Well, Bernard was.
Sure, he's close.
Right. Very nice man, very generous man.
Did you go to the party he had? He has a big Christmas party, right?
He does, yes.
And then he has and apparently he had this big, well, we know he just had this big party this past weekend out in the Hamptons.
Yeah, it was nice. At least Wheel was there, right?
Yes, she was. Well,
good times, I'm sure. But yeah, I wasn't invited. I-Man wasn't invited. Not good.
I've never been invited to any of them.
What does that tell you?
Well, it doesn't. Where's Trump, by the way, Bernie?
He's on now.
He's there, boss.
There we go.
Here we go, Mr. Trump.
Please welcome to the Imus Morning Program, Donald Trump. Hey, how are you?
I'm right on time for you. Bernard said, I watched Bernard last night, by the way. He's fantastic. But Bernard said, could you call back in 3 minutes? So I'm right on time. Never late for Don. Can't be late for Don.
No.
So I was talking to Lupica.
Yeah, what a good guy he is.
One of my best friends, maybe.
I know he is. And he's your best friend behind your back, too. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
He loves you.
He says, he asked you, let me ask you, did you think this thing was going to be as big as it is, you're running for president?
Well, I think I have the right message, but, it's just exploded. I don't know if you saw the polls yesterday, 35% in New Hampshire, winning by double digits, and, big, really big. Second place is way back. And so I'm very happy with that. South Carolina came out yesterday with a fantastic number. We had a 40% number in overall, a 40%. When I first did it, Don, I started at 6, and they said, well, that's the cap. He's got 6% of the people that really like him. Then it went to 12, then it went to 18, then it went to 25. And they kept saying, now they don't sort of say that anymore. But we've got the South Carolina numbers, that's an incredible place. And I'm going there very soon, and those numbers were fantastic. And North Carolina came out, and Nevada came out, and I'm winning everything in Nevada. I'm winning the Hispanics by a lot. So, every single poll, both nationally and locally, I'm winning. So
I was talking with, I was watching, by the way, Fox last night, and Carl Cameron was on out in Iowa, and he said what he thought was interesting is the people who were showing up at your rallies there are some of the people who are some of the voters, some of the serious voters in Iowa, just not tourists or curiosity seekers. In other words, what Carl Cameron was saying was that the people who actually vote in Iowa are apparently taking you seriously. It isn't just curiosity seekers.
Right. I actually saw Carl's report, and, it's interesting. We had a tremendous group of people. We had, I guess Carl said 4,000 people last night. It was packed, and it was just an amazing experience, and I've had a lot of amazing experience. The other day in Alabama, another one, we had 30,000 people in a football stadium, and it was like a love fest, and same thing last night, same thing in New Hampshire the other day. It's been amazing. So, I don't know. Mike actually asked me the question. I mean, did you expect it? And I think nobody could expect this. They say it's never happened before, actually, to this extent. And in the end, though, and I told this to Mike Lupica, I said, Mike, in the end, it doesn't matter if you don't win. It's like if you get 9 runs at the first inning of a baseball game, but if you lose the game, what difference does it make, right? So I don't view it as A very great journalist called me, and who I didn't even really know, but I have a lot of respect for him. And he said, what does it feel like? I said, what does what feel like? To have done this, to have, sort of taken, they call it the summer of Trump, which is great for my ego. I'll tell you what, that is great for my ego. You understand that, Bernard, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I feel, But anyway, he said, how does it feel? I said, well, it doesn't matter unless I win. He said, no. Even if you don't win, it matters. It's been amazing. I said, no, that's what I disagree, because I don't think it does matter unless I get the nomination and win. And as I say, make our country great again. But hey, don't forget, Don always said, if I actually run, because Don was not sure. You didn't sort of think I was going to run. He said, I will endorse Trump if he runs, but I don't think he's going to run. So
I didn't think there was any, I thought there was no possible way you were going to run.
Yeah, well.
But then I was talking to Monica Crowley yesterday, who's pretty smart, She says she thinks that this whole run of yours has been planned for months, if maybe not years.
Well, I've certainly been thinking about it. I was thinking about it last cycle. This cycle worked out better for me from a lot of standpoints, and including business. I'm finishing up, big developments all over the world, and I really have a plate where I can go out and do what I have to do. And it's very exciting. I go to places, I get sold-out audiences, I get standing ovations. It's Make America Great Again. That's the theme, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to do. We can make this country great again. Right now, this country is laughed at and scoffed at all over the world. And, we do deals like Bergdahl. We get Bergdahl a trader, and they get 5 killers that they've been wanting for 10 years. It's like that's the kind of deals we make. The Iran deal, the nuclear deal, is so horrible, so it's inconceivable. Now we find out 2 days ago, Don, that they have the right to inspect their own premises, and they'll report back to us as to whether or not they're doing anything wrong, right? The whole thing is so ridiculous. The 24-day where you have to wait 24 days before you can go in and look. And by the way, that clock doesn't start ticking for a long time, so it could be months and months before they ever get to inspect. And we left our prisoners over there. Why? What kind of a deal is it where we leave our prisoners over there and we're giving them $150 billion? This is not a deal that I would make. Okay, let me put it that way.
17 till the hour, talking with Donald Trump here in the Imus and Wayne program. So you and Roger Ailes had a friendly phone conversation, and then yesterday Ailes suggested that you apologize to Megyn Kelly. So what's your relationship with Ailes this morning?
Well, I think it's a good one. I always liked Roger. I spoke to him yesterday, and I've always had a good relationship. And I said, look, I don't know, you do what you do. I do what I do. That's okay. You can put out your letter, and I'll put in my letter, and we'll see. But, I have a lot of respect for Roger Ailes. There's nobody like him. He's been, a friend of mine for a long time. And I thought I was treated unfairly at the debate, as you know. I thought I was treated unfairly at other times. And I don't particularly think that Fox News treats me well, but some people think that they do. But if you look at some of these pundits, it's like, where are these people coming from? But, I really like Roger. He's a terrific guy. And I think Roger likes me. I mean, we're like friends, but people have little disputes.
Here's what I wondered. Megyn Kelly's a friend of mine. She and her husband have been for not as long as you've been a friend of mine, but both I would consider friends. And in my view, she's an outstanding journalist. And here's what I realize, and you probably do as well, that the questions she asked you, and we can all debate whether we thought it was a fair question or not. In my view, I thought it was a little harsh. But let me just say this. A little? Did you say a little harsh? Yes. Would you have wanted to be up there answering that question? No, of course not. But my point... By the way, with your wife sitting in the audience? My point is that question was vetted by everybody at Fox from Roger on down. So Megyn Kelly didn't just decide in a vacuum to ask you that question. They all signed off on it. So why not? So why take it out just on her specifically? Well, I don't know how the question came about. I don't even get into the detail. And if you ask Roger, he'll tell you he did not know that question, okay? And I accept him at his word, 100% at his word. But Roger will tell you he did not know what the questions were going to be. And I will certainly agree with that or accept that if I have to. I just thought it was harsh. I think that, they had 24 million people, and that's before the final numbers come out. They're going to end up having a lot more than that, as you know, the final numbers. That's going to be, and I will tell you, normally they'd have, 2 million people for a debate like that, which is a lot of people also, 2 million people. But 2 million is not 24 plus maybe another 4 or 5 in the end. So I think that... Now, I don't know. I'm going to ask you this question. They had 2 million normally for years, every 4 years. If they had 2 million, they went to 24 million. Do you think it was because of Senator Lindsey Graham was on the debate? Do you think it was because... by the way, he called you an idiot yesterday. Because Rick Perry was at the debate?
Huckabee.
Well, did you hear that Graham called you an idiot yesterday? So.
No, he's a guy who has 0 in the poll. I don't even know how you can have. They interview on the polls thousands and thousands of people. How do you have 0? That means he didn't get 1 vote. I think he's really, really ashamed. I think what he's done is very sad for his own persona and his own brand, and I would imagine that this would be the last time you're going to see him as a senator. He's a disaster. In South Carolina, in South Carolina yesterday, the polls came out. He was at 4, and I was at 30. or 30 or 35, but I think 30. And, yeah, I beat him by 26 points, and I said that's his home state. So,
And by the way, in your conversation with Ailes yesterday,
right.
did he ask you to apologize to Megyn Kelly?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, actually. I think that we just have a dispute. He feels one way about her, and I fully understand that. I feel another way. I think I was treated unfairly, and it's not a big deal. I mean, this is not something I would have brought up this morning with our phone call, but you brought it up, and which is okay. But it's not a big deal to me. I don't think about that. I'm off to a lot of other things. I mean, I'm doing a lot of things. I have a lot of stops. I have a lot of things on my mind that are very positive. I think very positive for the country, and I think that's why I'm leading in all the polls where we have ideas that are going to be great. We're going to turn the country around.
Last night, speaking of Megyn Kelly, she asked Ted Cruz that if a family, the two parents were in the country illegally, but their children were U.S. citizens, would he deport all of them? And he refused to answer the question. What is your answer?
You know that? I heard that he refused to answer that question.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. Look, we're a nation of laws. We're a nation of borders. We have to have borders. We have to have a wall. We have to have now, and I will tell you something. We're also a nation where we have gangs all over the place. And, many of the toughest dudes in those gangs are illegal immigrants that come right across that border. If you go to Baltimore, you go to Chicago, Ferguson, St. Louis, hey, Don, you look at some of the gangs that they have. These are illegals that have come in, and they're rough hombres, and they're going to go out so fast. If I win, they're going to be out of here so fast.
Well, I understand that, but the question was,
but you agree with that one, right?
Yes, but would you deport the entire family, the two?
Well, let's put it this way: they're illegal immigrants. I heard Ted's answer, and he's been very strong on that until last night. I heard that answer, and very strong until last night, which was interesting. The word is, are they illegal immigrants? So they're here illegally. Some of them are fantastic people, really good people, et cetera, et cetera. What I would do is take them out and expedite them coming back in illegally. And what I can do, and I'm a very good manager. You've known that about me for a long time. I really manage well. And I would get great people, but what I would do is get them out, because it's unfair to other people that can't come into the country. It's very unfair to other people that cannot come in. I would get them out, and they would be expedited, and they will come back in an expedited fashion if they're good. If they're not good, they're not coming back in.
At some point, you're going to have to select somebody to run as a vice president, running as a running mate.
Right.
Is there anybody running for the Republican? Anybody you're running against now who you would pick as a running mate?
It could be. Look, you hear me talking about, some of the people. The people that attacked me, like Lindsey Graham, like our governor of Texas, Perry, the ones that attacked me, they all went down. That's one of the greatest compliments I've ever had. They attacked me viciously, and they all went down. There are some people that I really respect on that platform.
And one.
Well, I'd rather not. Well, I respect Ted Cruz. I do respect Ted Cruz.
Oh, okay.
And you mentioned him, but I'd rather not too much because, I'm competing against these people, so I don't want to say, they're great. But there are some people.
Not a bad point.
There are some people, on that platform that I do respect a lot, a large group of people. And it could be out of that group, or it could be, different from that group. But we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, so far it's good. It's Bernard was talking about it last night. It's amazing what's happened, and people want, when Obama used to say people want change, they got it. That's the wrong kind of change. They want the right kind of change, and I know how to make this country great.
Thanks for appearing on the program. Always nice to talk with you. Thank you very much.
And you do have a great friend in Lupica. You just take care of yourself, okay?
Donald Trump here on the Imus Morning program. It's 10 minutes after the hour.
Imus.